statement, and I'll give the floor to the representative of Indonesia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Jerry. Allow me to other council members in thanking the briefers for their insightful briefings. Indonesia acknowledged the progress in the implementation of the RARCSS, including the agreement on the allocation of state and county level government positions. Despite this progress, the humanitarian situation and persistent intercommunal violence remain very concerning. Against this backdrop, allow me to emphasize 3 points. First, immediate responses to the humanitarian situation. With more than 1.6 million people remain internally displaced and over 1 million people affected by heavy rains and floods, humanitarian assistance is critical. This situation makes the persistent attacks on humanitarian and aid all the more worrisome. Indonesia condemns this attack and calls on the authorities and the UNMISS to safeguard all humanitarian workers and facilities. We also note with concern the increase in SOFA violation. Indonesia calls for all parties to respect UNMISS freedom of movement, especially in delivering humanitarian assistance. We urge the government of South Sudan to enhance its cooperation with UNMISS to ensure an effective provision of humanitarian assistance for all South Sudanese. The second point is progressing the political process. As reported by the Secretary General, the increasing intercommunal clashes is closely linked to the stalled political process, especially the implementation of the transitional security arrangement. All stakeholders, especially UNMISS, IGAD, and the African Union, need to step up its efforts in supporting the government of South Sudan in broadening dialogue and championing compromises to progress the stalled process. Indonesia commends UNMISS' tireless effort in exercising their good offices to engage all stakeholders in pushing RARCSS. With the possible reconfiguration of its mandate, we emphasize the importance of strengthening UNMISS' role in facilitating dialogue as well as community engagement. Third, sanctions benchmarking process. Indonesia firmly believes that sanction regimes should only be aimed to create a conducive and sustainable environment to support the peace process. Sanctions must never exist as a punitive measures. They should be employed strictly as a well thought out and one of the means through which peace process can be clearly seen to progress. With the deliberation of benchmark on South Sudan sanction, we emphasize that the role of sanction in facilitating the implementation of the RARCSS should remain the primary element of the benchmarks. Moreover, we also highlight the importance of engaging the region to ensure the effectiveness of sanctions in supporting the peace process. Mr. President, to conclude, it is indeed critical time in South Sudan journeys to peace. All the relevant parties must play their role effectively to ensure that the progress achieved is sustained and built upon. Indonesia remains committed to working with South Sudan in its journey toward the lasting peace. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Indonesia for his statement, and I'll give the floor to the representative of Russian Federation.